Well, it is Daily Ticker time. July 1st, Texas State officially became the 8th football playing member of the Pac-12 for the 2026-27 season. And now Commissioner Teresa Gould with Boise State, Colorado State, Fresno State, San Diego State, Utah State, and basketball playing Gonzaga joining Oregon State and Washington State. They have 9 schools. They can move forward and actually start making plans of how this thing's going to work. They announced the CBS Sports partnership a week or so ago, week and a half ago. They have that in place. We know there's going to be other partners, ESPN Plus, ESPN to some extent. Is expected to be involved. CW will continue to be involved. We think there will be a streaming partner. Not sure if that is Paramount or ESPN Plus, or there is somebody else out there, Amazon Prime, in that regard that may jump in.
ESPN Plus.
So ESPN Plus is a lot more easily accessible for people at this point. But after all that went down, Teresa Gould with SiriusXM College Sports. Explain now where the conference is and what its focus is moving forward, knowing they've got the membership figured out to start.
When I took this job, it was, March of 2024. And our focus at that time was very much, kind of transitioning our 10 departing institutions and transitioning a number of my colleagues, finishing out all of our championships. But shortly after we turned the page, and, I had Oregon State and Washington State remaining and their amazing coaches and amazing student athletes. The thing that was front of mind for me is how do I create the best pathway for them and their future in college athletics? And what became blatantly obvious really quickly, right, in a matter of, weeks or months, was that the Pac-12 brand, the Pac-12 legacy, the history of this league really meant something in the marketplace. And, whether it was to the fans, to coaches and student athletes, to potential commercial partners, it was clear that the path forward was going to be to continue with the Pac-12. And we were fortunate in that a number of, nationally relevant, nationally competitive institutions and brands and programs were interested in being part of what we were building. We obviously made the announcement in September with the 5 Mountain West programs, followed by Gonzaga, and then most recently, a couple days ago, with Texas State. So I think we have a great group of institutions that are aligned on a number of things. We're going to continue to compete at the highest level, be a top 5 conference. We're going to have nationally relevant brands. We're going to do things differently and be forward thinking in this kind of changing landscape that we're in. And we're going to serve the modern day student athlete in a way that is new and different.
There's Teresa Gould, commissioner of the Pac-12. Now, the last little bit about that was political rhetoric about,
of course,
serving. I'll be curious what that is and means. And if there's anything tangible, significant that comes out of it to have student athletes thinking about the Pac-12, and I think it'll go in conference sort of NIL things, ways that they can set it up to compensate for the fact that they simply don't have the deep pocket donors that the Big Ten and the SEC and the Big 12 will have. So that'll all play out. But the most important thing is they get to start planning now. There's no wait till the 11th hour. Does Memphis, does Tulane, do we have to dip down into the Big Sky? Do we have to yank Idaho? Do we have to yank Sacramento State? Texas State is a big enrollment's around 40,000. They are putting money into facilities and programs. Look, once you get over the fact that this is now your lot in life, and I know that there are Cougar and Beaver fans that still haven't gotten there, you have what is potentially a very good basketball conference. Football, there's potential.
Yeah.
But I also think there is a ton of pressure right out of the chute. First season, they need to come out gangbusters. They need to put multiple teams into the NCAA men's and women's tournament. The NCAA women's tournament now is going to start having revenue units for teams as they advance the way that the men do. So that is they need to generate revenue.
Yeah.
It's nice that the TV deals are short term, because if they can capitalize on just having a conference, being a presence, if that, we're going to find out real quick if that Pac-12 brand actually means something, if they can dwarf what the Mountain West is going to do. Can they maybe TNT looking for things in the fall without the NBA? Would they be interested in some more basketball? Would they be interested in some more regular football? I think they've got some options available to them. And as long as they're not myopic in terms of what they think that value is initially, but the pressure on them to football-wise, see if they can sneak a team into the back end, get that group of 5 or 6 or whatever it's being called now, automatic berth, try to be one of the last at-large teams in, whoever it might be. And this is where fans, if you want your team, whether it's the Cougs or the Beavs or Boise State, I know people are listening there, to be successful and feel like you can move forward and see a pathway back to the standing and the prominence that you once held when the Pac-12 was the Pac-12, you got to root for the conference overall.
Yeah.
And so if you come at it with some sort of negative attitude of it just being small time, then you're never going to be satisfied.
No.
Basketball-wise, I think, based on the pedigree of some of these programs, there's it's not out of the realm of possibilities to have 3 or 4 teams in the men's tournament, and that would be huge, especially if they expanded. If they expanded, you get 5 in, depending. Gonzaga's going to be in. San Diego State should be in.
Yeah.
Washington State has the potential to do that. If Tinkle can keep Oregon State moving, Boise State, Coach Rice is down there, consistently has teams right on the bubble. So, but I think the pressure needs to be on now. This season is this season for whatever, but I think the plans for both football and men's basketball need to be, we are planning for 26-27 this season.
I like that we have a competent head of the conference now. Like, Teresa Gould just sounds smarter, frankly, than George Kliavkoff ever did and Larry Scott ever did. You hear what she says and you actually believe it, and you feel like that there's a plan behind it, as opposed to just, well, I'm just here making a big salary and I'm trying to have fun doing it, essentially. Like, there's thankfully like a measure of success that we've seen in the last year with this conference staying alive. I just don't know, like, I don't want to go negative Nancy on it. Like, yes, it's not what it was, but there really is something to put your hat on here, and congrats to Teresa Gould for leading the way and doing that. Now, going forward, will these schools be able to sneak in this year and gain some prominence? I don't think, like, to a college football playoff or to the NCAA tournament. I don't think that's as important, Swag, as, and I said while you were kind of opening this segment, as getting a streaming partner that is as accessible to everybody as possible. You don't want to be on a Paramount Plus. I love Paramount Plus, but, like, you got to pay a bunch extra for that, and that's not necessarily something that sports fans are going to.
Nope.
You need it.
You got to be able to trip over it.
If I'm Teresa Gould, I'm taking less money for the conference so I can be on ESPN Plus. I watch more Division II crap football because it's on ESPN Plus on a Saturday night than I do a game that's on the CW or on Ion or whatever the hell streaming platform you want to put it on. Access is key here. If we want, I mean, obviously the conference success, that depends on how well the teams play, but you want to build some freaking support, and the way to do that is access.